The Democrat president of the US, Joe Biden, seems to have made up his mind to destroy the American industrial military complex and rid the American populace of their hard-earned money. The Democrats have already started making provisions that would enable them to spend the American taxpayers' money to fund Ukraine, in turn prolonging the war for many years to come, even after they lose the majority in the House in the upcoming midterms. Hello and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I am your host Ananya, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI Global channel yet, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. And please install our Apple and Android mobile app. The link is given below in the description. Top US officials on Thursday unveiled $2.8 billion in new military and humanitarian aid for Ukraine and Eastern European allies, marking a shift from just-in-time weapon transfers to Ukraine to a longer-term effort to equip nations all across NATO's Eastern Front. The declarations came as Secretary of State Antony Blinken made his second trip to Kyiv since the war began. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Joint Chiefs Chair General Mark Milley also met with dozens of their international counterparts at Ramstein Air Base in Germany to discuss the conflict in Ukraine. The United States will reportedly transfer a stock worth $675 million to the Ukrainian military, including more ammunition, armored vehicles, and anti-armor weapons. The largest $2.2 billion military financing package, however, will be divided in half, with about $1 billion going to Kyiv and the rest being distributed among 18 of Kyiv's regional neighbors, spanning from the Baltic to the Mediterranean. The Democrat leadership knows that the Republicans, once they gain majority in the House, would attempt to save the taxpayers' money by trying to make things right with the Kremlin. Washington, under the Democrats, is trying to make provisions that would incite violence in the East for a long time to come. Biden is calling for trouble by providing military funding to the states along Russia's western border. What Biden doesn't want is peace in Europe. He ardently believes that war in the East would be good for the US. But guess what, Mr. President? The US's economy is in recession. Inflation is touching a record high and the dollar is weaker than ever. At some point, particularly if House Republicans win in the elections, I don't know how we do this in December or in January. It's going to be really difficult. One Republican staffer admitted to get more aid packages passed. The staffer spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive political matters. Well, fair enough. If Republican victory would hinder Biden from sanctioning the butchering of thousands, then it is what all of us must pray for. It is the need of the hour. If it would stop the 79-year-old president from spending the hard-earned money of the taxpayer amid deteriorating economic conditions of the nation. Also, there are concerns over the strength of the US defense industrial base as contractors race to replenish American stockpiles of munitions being sent to Ukraine. Washington is letting go of its equipment faster than ever. Biden had previously vowed to intervene militarily against China if it invades Taiwan. In accordance with the current pace of military equipment deterioration, it would indeed be very difficult for Washington to keep up with its promise. If there was a war in Taiwan Strait right now, very serious concerns, the US would have sufficient munitions for the kind of prolonged conflict. Seth Jones, director of the International Security Program, said, "The industrial base right now is being severely tested." He added, "A Republican victory is inevitable with all the mess that Biden has made up in the past couple of years. Hopefully, the Congress would force the White House to look out for itself before it endeavors to embark on a charitable journey that essentially sanctions the deaths of hundreds of thousands."